to the project. Mr. Gore, what a pleasure to have you here on stage.
Thank you.
You started this before it was fashionable.
Well, I'm not sure I can take that much credit, but it's an honor to be here. And with all of us, I want to thank Mayor Hidalgo for hosting us, and former Mayor Bloomberg, who's now a special representative at the UN, for co-hosting us. And we all still feel very deeply and express our condolences to the city of Paris. But I'm filled with hope and optimism in hearing all of these wonderful success stories.
Why are you optimistic that we can tackle this?
We not only can, we will win this struggle. People who believe that we don't have the political will to achieve victory forget that political will is itself a renewable resource. We are now seeing the development of new technologies for production of electricity from solar energy and wind energy. You know what percentage has been built this year of new electricity generation in the U.S. from solar and wind? 78%. Worldwide, more than half. And we're seeing improvements in battery storage and new efficiency technologies of all kinds. And we're seeing the investor community and the business community. Paul Pullman is a fantastic example of leadership that inspires us to see what can be done by investors and business leaders, and they are doing it. Their customers are demanding it. They themselves see the opportunity to improve profitability and recruitment and retention. Their employees love it. So this is a big, big shift. There was an American poet in the last century, Wallace Stevens, who was a businessman before he became a poet, and he wrote this line: "After the last no comes a yes, and on that yes, the future world depends." We've had many conferences on the climate. This one is different. We've seen the last no. We are on the cusp of a yes. We are moving to a future world that is sustainable and prosperous and just and equitable.
Why are we still using fossil fuels?
I'm sorry?
Why are we still using fossil fuels?
Well, for 150 years, fossil fuels have been a major part of building up global civilization. And it has been relatively recently that people have become aware that it's insane to put 110 million tons of global warming pollution every day into the atmosphere as if it's an open sewer. The cumulative amount is now trapping as much extra heat energy as would be released by 400,000 Hiroshima-class atomic bombs exploding every day. It's a big planet, but that's a lot of energy, and it's causing all the climate-related extreme weather events and all the consequences you've heard. But we're still using fossil fuels because we have grown to be dependent upon them, and it takes time to make the transition. There are those who have tried to slow down this transition, but they are now beginning to be called out, and most significant of all, the cost of electricity from renewable sources is in many regions around the world beginning to be cheaper than electricity from coal and gas. And the transportation sector, so important for oil markets, is now just beginning to be electrified. So the difference between new sources of electricity being cheaper than fossil sources and being more expensive than is like the difference between 0 degrees and 1 degree. It's not just 1 degree, it's the difference between ice and water. And in markets, when it falls below the line of cheaper than, then there is an explosion of new investment and interest. A great economist, the late Rudy Dornbush, once said, "Things take longer to happen than you think they will, but then they happen much faster than you ever imagined they could." That is the point we are at right now. It has taken time, but now the change is bursting out.